Hey everyone, and welcome. So glad you could join us for a brand new explainer right here on the Gap Advisors Ind AS Clinic YouTube channel. If you're the kind of person who just loves dissecting financial statements, really getting down to the absolute core of compliance, well, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're tearing into a real-world case study. It's an anatomy of an error that's literally hiding in plain sight, right inside the cash flows from financing activities. It's a perfect example of how one seemingly tiny omission can just cascade into a massive compliance headache. So grab your notebooks, get settled in, and let's decode this whole shebang together.
But hey, before we jump into the actual numbers, let's establish exactly where today's insights are coming from. The core of our analysis is sourced straight from the 231st edition of the Gap Advisors Task Weekly newsletter. This was expertly authored by CA Manish C. Iyer, director at Gap Advisors, and published over on LinkedIn. Honestly, this newsletter is an incredible resource for practical application issues. To give you an idea of its consistency, 232 editions have been published to date, delivering top-tier technical analysis to professionals everywhere.
Okay, let's dive right into this. What we're examining is an actual, real-world snippet from the published Ind AS financial statements of a listed company. Gap Advisors downloaded these financials and conducted an independent review on a suo motu basis. We're zeroing in on the cash flow from financing activities section. And just a quick note before we go further, all the currency amounts we're talking about today are in Indian rupees, not US dollars. So we can clearly see the raw numbers here, right? We've got the proceeds and repayments for both long-term and short-term borrowings, plus the finance costs. But I want to challenge you for a second. Put on your auditor's hat. If you look closely at this specific setup, there is a glaring, mandatory element completely missing from the presentation. Can you spot what it is?
Did you guess it? If you said cross-references, you hit the nail right on the head. While this company was super diligent about reporting the raw Indian rupee figures, showing us exactly the money flowing in and out, what's entirely absent are the mandatory cross-references to the notes. Now you might be wondering, okay, the numbers are right there, so does a missing note number actually matter? Well, the short answer is absolutely yes. Under the standards, just tossing the numbers out there simply isn't enough. Let me show you exactly why by digging into the specific Ind AS requirements.
That brings us straight to Ind AS 7, Statement of Cash Flows. Paragraph 44A specifically mandates, and I quote, "An entity shall provide disclosures that enable users of financial statements to evaluate changes in liabilities arising from financing activities, including both changes arising from cash flows and non-cash changes." This is absolutely crucial, folks. Users need to understand the complete story of your debt. Plus, paragraphs 44C and 44D of Ind AS 7 explain that a really great way to fulfill this is by providing a reconciliation between the opening and closing balances in the balance sheet. Basically, how did we get from point A to point B? Without that clear roadmap, the user's just left totally guessing. And this brilliantly illustrates how these standards intersect, because we also have to look at Ind AS 1, Presentation of Financial Statements. Paragraph 113 lays down an absolutely unequivocal rule. An entity shall cross-reference each item in the balance sheet and in the statement of profit and loss, and in the statements of changes in equity and of cash flows to any related information in the notes. Notice that language? It's not a mere suggestion. It's a hard shall. The company in our case study directly violated the specific mandate. They gave us the cash flow figures, sure, but they completely failed to cross-reference them to the specific notes that contain the deep dive details required by Ind AS 7. It's like they built this beautiful bridge but just totally forgot to connect it to the other side.
So what does this all mean? What's the ultimate verdict here? Well, when you fail to link this information, you actually trigger a much larger compliance failure. According to paragraph 7 of Ind AS 1, you wander right into the very dangerous territory of obscuring information. The standard defines this as communicating information in a way that would have a similar effect for primary users as omitting or misstating that information entirely. By skipping that one simple cross-reference column, the company wasn't just being a little messy. No, they effectively obscured material information from the primary users who desperately rely on these documents to make sound financial decisions.
Let's quickly walk through the specific traps outlined in Ind AS 1, paragraph 7. Information can be obscured through vague or unclear language, inappropriate aggregation or disaggregation, or even by hiding material facts behind immaterial ones. But the one I really want to focus on right now is scattered information. By not providing a simple cross-reference to the note detailing changes in financing liabilities, the company literally forced the user to go on a wild scavenger hunt. The financing details were illegally scattered throughout the document. A primary user shouldn't need a magnifying glass and a treasure map just to piece together the basic financial realities of a listed company. No, I know navigating all these interconnected standards can be incredibly tricky, but here's the good news. You really don't have to do it alone. I want to highlight a massive resource that's available to you right now. Just think about this staggering number for a second. Over 4,500. That is the number of issues and detailed responses on Ind AS and Indian GAAP currently hosted over on gapadvisors.com. It's an absolute goldmine. Anyone can register for free and submit issues on Ind AS and Indian GAAP, and you'll get a detailed response delivered directly to your registered email inbox. This repository is absolutely vital, especially for auditors who need concrete documentation on exactly how they addressed specific, complex issues relating to the application of Ind AS. It is quite literally an entire library of compliance solutions right at your fingertips.
And hey, if you're looking at your own financial statements right now and feeling a little nervous about potential scattered information creeping in, we've got a lifeline for you. You can actually get your financial statements independently reviewed by GAAP advisors before signing them, so you completely avoid these exact reporting traps. The process is super easy. Step 1. Just prepare your financial statements in a near-to-publishing PDF format. Step 2. Email that PDF over to info@gapadvisors.com. And Step 3. Get a thorough, independent review before you sign off on a single thing. Trust me, catching a missing cross-reference before publishing is infinitely better than having an investor, or worse, a regulator catch it afterward.
All right, as we wrap up today's explainer, I do need to share a couple of quick standard disclaimers. Please keep in mind that the views expressed herein are the personal views of the author and are not binding on the audience. We strongly request that you seek the help of a qualified expert before taking any action or refraining from any action based on the views we've discussed today. Thank you so much for your time and focus. If you found this breakdown valuable, please hit that like button, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and make sure to subscribe to the GAAP Advisors Ind AS Clinic channel if you aren't already. I'm going to leave you with one final provocative question to ponder. If a simple missing number can obscure material facts, what hidden truths are your own current cash flow statements unintentionally hiding right now? Really think about it. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.